Here's the issue.
Okay, the issue.
It takes a while for hair this thick to dry.
Okay.
And as it dries, it changes shape.
Okay.
And maybe gets a little bit poofy.
A little bit?
Don't blame me.
A little bit?
Okay?
Oh.
But before we get started, Nick, there's one thing I want to say.
Okay, what do you want to say?
Hi, Pengu.
No.
It's me.
No.
Your only spectator. For months, I have created the illusion that you were posting to a large audience.
Yeah.
But here's the truth. All those people in the comments are me. And now to prove it, I'm going to send this message from all my accounts in the Twitch chat.
Thank you, Parker. That was what was posted below my most recent tweet about us casting today, and you even joined in and copy-pasted that into your very own message.
I went so far as to copy-paste your entire tweet, including your photo, and just make that same tweet.
Low-effort tweeting, Parker, what can I say?
Twitter is awful. I don't use it pretty much ever. I check it once a day at absolute most. It is a hellscape. However, you're telling me that at events, I have the opportunity to troll you by using social media. I'll do that. I will.
That's fair.
Just that. No more trolling, no more jokes. DZG are going up against GKY.
They are. And before we get into it, I just want to say,
what does the G?
Where's the
what is the G?
Where's the G in Dark Zero?
It's not Dark Zero game. What's the G?
It's esport, not gaming.
Oh, and immediately getting under their skin, the Los backgrounds coming out from GK. If you recall back in Atlanta, DZ got absolutely stomped by Los.
7-0 on that final map of Skyscraper, I believe. It was brutal.
It was DZG's map.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of DCG, 381 days. That is how long ago it was that Jason, aka Bolo, stepped down as an active player in the professional scene of Siege. And he's back now for Dark Zero for at least this tournament of the Six Invitational. And hovering glass for a brief moment there, but switching onto the Flores. Now, when we're looking at Dark Zero, a lot of people are going to talk about Bolo joining, superstar player, big deal, yes, we know. But Nave, coming from Europe, being that support player, and maybe, possibly, going to be a voice for Dark Zero as well, making it more loose, he can do more things on the flex side of things. Nave on that more supportive role, can like lead from the back. So if Troy is going to let go of his reins on this team and let Nave kind of help him, I could really see Dark Zero have a different performance and maybe even a different playstyle throughout this entire event.
I am eagerly anticipating the changes to Dark Zero. I'm gonna... Jack, are you listening right now? Fresh.
Always.
Fresh, I know you're probably listening to this. I hope you're listening to this. You shoot me a message. I want to know. Fresh came in here and said something about Dark Zero before we got into the matchup, and I'd like to use that on the broadcast. Okay. So Jackie boy, if you were listening, to give me permission to say it, because I think it is an intriguing thing to say. Providing, of course, he's watching the other match, which is SSG versus Wolves, happening on the B stream. Either way, we can talk about it at a later date. The addition of Nath is the most intriguing part of this new Dark Zero roster.
Yeah, I'm not surprised to see a slow start. It's your first matchup, your first game of the Six Invitationals. You don't want to just lose bodies early, so a still, you know, very methodical Dark Zero attack right now, mostly pushing from the south side, that's Solar, Master Bedroom, etc. But they do have some pressure on the library balcony as well. So good old split theory, as we have to use as a term these days. But GK doing a great job, they're just kind of sitting still.
Now, this is the perfect time, as we're still in the early moments of the round, the zenith of the round, if we shall say that. Maybe explain some split theory to the people watching at home.
I actually hate the term. So split theory is basically when teams, they attack from like many different angles at once, and you kind of gotta play for yourself. Whereas the old style of Siege is 5 or 4 people from one singular side, with maybe one guy backstabbing. So right now, Dark Zero, they are showing us kind of like the split theory. They got library bulk pressure, they're roam clearing as well, they're attacking from multiple areas of the map at once.
There you go, and there's the very first bit of flames sent out by Nafe. First kill for Dark Zero. Comes up, of course, on the heels of Pandazu getting the first kill. Nave's first kill for Dark Zero, just in case you're curious about it. Control now of the upstairs by Dark Zero, as the 3 remaining members of GK have been relinquished to mostly the basement and playing peripheral sites. Noodle will attempt the retake upstairs in Solarium. He'll have a heads-up gunfight with Bolo. He'll have to wait for his very first kill on Dark Zero, because he's out for the count. Canadian down below where Noodle could potentially retreat through. Nafe another kill, this time onto Key. Hasham on the board. Trading back and forth with 30 seconds to go.
This is the thing, Dark Zero, they're kind of everywhere. We see Troy holding a window, we see Nave holding a window as well, and yeah, the active gunfights right now favoring Geekay, but it's still 3v2 in favor of Dark Zero. They still got this round favored so far.
Now one of the best guns in the game in the hands of Canadian. Inching up and down goes Hisham, the 417, just chewing right through him. Noodle over by Chimney, punished by Panbazoo. First kill in the round, last kill in the round. DZ, take round number 1.
If you're Dark Zero, I feel like you go into this saying, okay, GK, they might be running into us, seeking gunfights, play really like overly aggressive because that's kind of like the Mena playstyle. There was this interview a while back where, I'm not sure who exactly said it from Mena, but it said, we don't really typically plant, it's all like go for those kills and that map control. So if you expect that kind of performance from your opponent when you're Dark Zero, it makes sense to hold angles on those window balconies and let them make the first move. You see it here, Nave, he holds his angle for a solid minute and 30 seconds. He finds 1 kill, Captain Fire comes out, finds the 2nd kill as well, and then Nave again, just holding a doorway, sees a bit of movement, gets that easy kill. Dark Zero didn't have to move a whole lot and didn't really have many gunfights happening. It was just GK that running away from them or running into them. Nave with the energy there. Love to see it. Of course, had a phenomenal start for him. We love seeing when support players, they get a couple of kills, they get to be part of the action. And this is the thing that I think Dark Zero can really benefit from. Having a vocal player on one side of the map, which was Canadian, on the Trophy Master bedroom side, and having Nave on the opposite side on Library Balcony. If they're both vocal players, they can be like, oh, hey guys, movement over here, or hey, Library players have left this position, expect more people to come fight you guys in Master bedroom, for example. So I just want to see Nave stay as vocal as possible when we see those player cams, when we see maybe a tactical timeout, and to kind of gather like how much input is he actually providing for this team.
DZ have never really had a problem getting the players that they want for their team. If you recall, they picked up Rice for the Atlanta Major. Or, well, before that, but of course he came to the Atlanta Major.
Yeah.
I think after what we witnessed in Atlanta, it was very evident that he was not the answer for the team. He was relatively quickly moved off of the roster once Atlanta ended. And now, of course, reaching out, getting Bolo and Nave after Gavin was also released from the roster, which was a bit more surprising. As just from the eye test, Gavin didn't seem like he was that poor of a fit for Dark Zero, but clearly we never have the full information. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes. As to why teams make these decisions, it's anybody's guess. Now, first bit of context going to come up in the library. Trix dies yet again from a very similar position with Nave on the board. Bolo 0 for 2 to start off with, seriously with 1 kill before NJR punishes him. Those DMRs in the hands of DZ are so strong. A 4v3 with well over half of the round.
And same thing with GK. They start off well just sitting in their corners, but then when they start to make a little bit of a movement, they get picked off every single time. And DC, again, they're rotating, swapping things around. They start being very passive, but now they're going to get proactive, right? They're going to make that pressure down towards the basement, and no Noodle on the Solace is downstairs. And if they can take him down, that's going to enable a stronger position for them, knowing that flank is removed from the game. But Noodle reads it well. He runs further back into the basement and hides downstairs, knowing that simply staying alive is all he needs to do right now, and that he and Hasham make the magic happen on the side first, then he can go for a late flank.
Well, 40 seconds elapsed since the last time we spoke about the state of these teams. Hasham will get a little bit brazen. He'll duel NJR, lose the gunfight. 2nd kill for NJR now with less than a minute to go. Dark Zero was always a methodical team, but their biggest weakness when we've seen them from the last stage in the last major was they were very slow. This has not been the case so far here on Chalet. Their pace is noticeably faster.
Yeah. Getting those early kills and still progressing well. And now smoke's going out. They're going to hit the side momentarily, but 30 seconds still. They can take their time.
He's in a tough position because they could collapse on him from 3 separate angles, maybe 4 if somebody were to head in towards that billiard table. Oh my! Key with a kill, Nave, immediately punishing him for that. Now it's all up to Noodle to take back the sights. P90 in hand, down goes Panbazoo. Noodle will ascend to the very top floor with the diffuser running in favor of Dark Zero.
Defenders have eyes
to
on
wait
the
out
diffuser.
this time.
Attackers need to
Solus
protect
is
it.
often uniquely equipped in a post plant. But as long as neither Canadian nor Nave sit on electronics, their actual positions will be concealed from the operator. So it's just guesswork for Noodle at this point. Half of the diffuser now completely gone, as Noodle is shooting through the floors essentially hopelessly. He doesn't have information. He's got a good shot, but that's pretty much all going for him. Naif watching the doorway, looking for kill number 5. Time's about to run out. We're now past the point of no return. Dark Zero will get the round, and Naif will get the kill. 5 kills through 2 rounds for the new flex/support player brought on to Dark Zero, and it's an excellent start for DZ.
Best start you can hope for, that's for sure. Individually. Chop,
And the
chop.
trash talking, by the way.
Ooh, chop, chop from Nave.
Done.
Yeah. I mean, now I gotta look at Geekay right now. They need to change something up. They cannot just sit in these corners and just get picked apart by utility from the Capital, Fire, the Florist drones, etc. They gotta get proactive. I like what Noodle is doing. He's getting out there, trying to get things, to happen. But most of Dark Zero playing so far to building again, they find 1, 2, or even 3 kills right here, just from sitting or repelling outside a door or a window. 3 kills, in fact, in this round, yeah. So, Geekay, they gotta try and bait Dark Zero into the build-em, let them get a bit of a foothold somewhere, and then maybe strike back, either C4 below, or just take 2 people together and go for that singular gunfight, because right now, they're just losing out in 1v1s or playing against 1 versus 2s, and it's not a great look. They did try bar back-to-back, okay, didn't work either time, so it makes perfect sense now to change up that bomb side, and look at the upper lineup. Completely different. Tuberu, Mira, Warden, the Kaid, Wamai, a ton of utility now to play against Dark Zero. So they say, okay, we're not gonna have the best weapons necessarily, but we have different tools to the job. Deny the walls, slow you down, because Dark Zero, yeah, they've been fast in terms of pacing. They get a kill early, they get a kill in the mid-round, and then they win in that final 20 seconds of the round. But if Geekay can now stop dying early and have Kaid, Tuberu, Mira, well, if Dark Zero attacks the bombs with 20 seconds left, that's not gonna be ideal and longer for this round.
It's the first time that you and I are going to be casting the newest operator, Tuberu, who has the Zoto canister. It's more of a cryo canister, essentially, for those that don't know, and it does an awful lot. If you throw it at the floor, you can see footsteps from down below. It can freeze walls. It's basically breach denial. And we'll touch on everything that those canisters do as they are deployed, providing we get that far. I mean, with Noodles into the very final moments of the previous round, I think it's good to say that he plays relatively sheltered. Also, he's got Maverick's DMR.
Yeah, on defense, more DMRs on the defensive side. We see them at land. Exactly,
so
they
much.
hurt so much. 2 bullets or 3, you're either injured or you're outright just dead. And pairing the Kaid with the Tuberu is exactly what you want to see, or Bender for that case. You can freeze the wall, trick it, deny that heartbeat sketch, and keep those mirror windows alive upstairs because, yeah, master bedroom defense, but they're extending below inside the kitchen as well. So a fair bit of map control now in the favor of Geekay, and Dark Zero, they need to work on their problem solving now. Because again, this time, Geekay are not surrendering these free kills any longer. They're sitting in strong fortified positions, and now DC, they have to make an active first move.
That's the big concession for Geekay, is that they were so strong into holding that library. They weren't successful, but they were investing a lot into it. It's not the case this time. So DZ are able to walk through that part of the map. It's been the slowest round so far, though we're only 3 in. Just a little bit over a minute remaining. The Lion scan will gain some information. Panbazoo is on the hunt, but he's boxing shadows. His key is long gone before being finished off by NJR. Dark Zero striking first in all 3 rounds so far. Though, in previous rounds, Geekay has kept it a little bit close. Not the case in this round. Technically, it was a trade in the previous round, but I mean...
Yeah.
Getting on the board first or at the same time.
No, I'll take those. I mean, it was a great collapse with 4 players from DC working together, but again, the time is so low now. 35 seconds, walls are still reinforced, they're Kite Trick and Tuberu Noodle, still 3 of those canisters in pocket. DC, they gotta go for broke here, just push in that doorway. It's not gonna work out. Hit downstairs through the hatch, finds head of Noodle as well. Now those walls might be opened up, but there's no time for DC. This dude's gotta go for broke.
The advantage that Dark Zero had has been reduced to nothing at this point. Hashom with 2 kills. Naif giving the advantage back to Dark Zero, but more work to be done. Hashom is last one left. Bolo on the board for the first time all match. Hashom with the sidearm out, turns his back. Bolo in hot pursuit. Naif is down. Bolo needs to win it. It's a game of keep away. And Hashom gets them all. Every single kill.
With the pistol, the runaway, the fadeaway, and saving the round for Geekay. It wasn't pretty for a moment there, but he clutched up.
Hashom gets all 5 kills, and Ace and then types chop chop.
Chop, chop.
In chat.
Oh, the LeBron effect, right? You talk your smack, and then it karma hits you really quickly.
That is such a reference.
Oh, I know Iconic loves that one. The Braun effect. There we see it, the first kill. I mean, just the pre-fires, just first bullet headshots all the way throughout. And of course, the injure. 2 pistol kills in a 1v2. Not sure Diffuser was, probably on the office exterior door, I reckon, onto Nafe, if I had to guess, because otherwise they could have gone for a plant, so we have to assume here that the Diffuser was not in Dark Zero's control. The only logical play here in that scenario. But again, the walls not being opened up for DC forced them into a bad spot. You know, one doorway on piano double door and one doorway on that office balcony. So no real good pressure points for Dark Zero. They couldn't sit far back out of those long lines of sight. They had to push through into close quarter combat, not knowing exactly where the members of Geekay were because they were so low on time. So strategically, a beautiful read from Geekay going from round number 2 into round number 3. And they get the round, well, partly because of that. And of course, Hashom just stepping up for his team.
I always like seeing players who are relatively new to international competition start to pop off. So when you get players like Geekay who don't have a wealth of international experience, it really is great to see the growth in other regions and the growth of individually skilled players. Geekay will need more than a Hashom to ace every single round if they want to be competitive in this matchup. Very first defense down below. Tomorrow being brought again, this time in the hands of Key. Didn't really see much of an impact from Noodle in the previous round, at least not that I did. I don't know if you can shine a light on something that I might have missed.
No, you're right. I mean, he died pretty, not early on, but he died before anything really happened. But also, they kept the kind claws intact, so the Trooper wasn't needed for new wall deny. But as you said, Parker, it has many applications. Throwing it on like a regular floor will also slow any attackers down and just make it more difficult to take those gunfights. So there's still, of course, ways to find it, if not for the walls themselves.
Again, DZ, very good at getting on the board. First, Trix has had a rough start to this matchup. Because of that, Geekay finds themselves down a man with half of the round still to play out, and the Kaid as well, so you have to hope that that Electric Claw's gone somewhere. Noodle is also gone, and so is Key, as Bolo and Pambazu have found ways into the bomb site. Suddenly, Hashom mysteriously will need to retake. 6 kill in a row for Hashom. So far as 7 on the match, looking for an 8th over towards Trench Door. All the while this is happening, Dark Zero having Geekay's attention. It allows Canadian to get the diffuser down.
Attackers are active.
He'll get out of there. Along with the rest of Dark Zero, now scrambling into the post play. Pambazu over in Connector with a cross on mysteriously loses the gunfight, leaving Geekay with 2 members still to go. The Dark Zero have that timer working in their favor. Another from Seriously. And now it's Hashom to wrap around. Over towards Trench Door, he knows that JR is there, gets him, leaving Canadian in a 1v1, who's playing by blue. The jig is up. Hashom with that SMG. At close range, will decide to hop onto the diffuser. He has time to get off of it. He'll wait and hear if Canadian aggresses, which he does! And Hashom wins it again! 2 rounds in a row. Good grief! Tie game!
It wasn't even like Dark Zero misplayed that. I mean, they were holding, you know, long angles far away that established somewhat of a crossfire, etc. But the shots that are being hit right now from Hashom and Seriously in that 2v3 or 2v4 is incredible. And just like that previous round, Hashom in the in-game chat will type chop chop after brutally clutching that round for his team. And again, I was gonna praise Dark Zero, the off-pace play, pan on the nuke, just into the breach, goes the backstab, and seemingly out of nowhere, Dark Zero, they go for an execute. All Dark Zero, so to speak, before Nathan Bolo, I feel like would have taken 20 seconds, 30 seconds extra, been very predictable, very slow, but they are quick right now to those punches. 1 minute 30 seconds, Panba's in the breach. It's 5 versus 2. How does it fall apart? Well, the shots that are being landed here, 1 and 2, that starts things off. And you see Hashom is in G11, close quarter. I will say, not the greatest post-ban position there from Canadian on the Thatcher. You're up against SMG11 on a T5, high-fired weapons, and he's saying there, Troy, relax, calm down, too many things going on right now. So it looked good on paper, but when you can hit your shots, anything can happen. Now it's tied up 2-2. All of a sudden, this is gonna be a map. I thought Dark Zero in the first 2 rounds were gonna run away with it, but it might not be the case. If Geekay can do the full bomb rotation here, 3 in a row, going back to bars, a 3rd round, potential round victory in a row here, that'd be a great spot for them. Maybe they can show us that they figure things out, those weaknesses in the first 2 rounds, getting picked off early, etc. Or maybe, without those clutch moments, they wouldn't have gotten those 2 rounds. It'd be a 4 for Dark Zero. So they gotta show up now more than ever. get that round advantage and shows that they have learned from those previous 2 rounds.
We have an update on the match happening on the B stream. If you don't want spoilers, close your ears for the next 10 seconds or so. After a disastrous start that looked like all hope was lost, the Wolves pulled it back in map 2 and then prevailed in map 3 to topple Space Station 2-1. Quite amazing, given the fact that the Wolves almost lost to Fresh's Ranky stack.
Yeah, almost twice, in fact, actually. One man was overtime.
Did you play on that team?
I played one of the matches.
There you go.
We lost 5-7 on Nighthaven lap.
Good for you, man.
Yeah, we got slaughtered. It's a, not slaughtered, but we you know, could have been OT.
Mm-hmm. Now back to bar, Geekay will go. And the things that we looked at from Atlanta for Dark Zero here, because right now they're on attack. They're the ones who have the job to do. It's that, how does the speed of DZ's executes stack up to what we saw previously? And I think it's inarguable. They're much faster.
Yeah.
They look better. But Geekay are a terrific team from what we saw. Finished top 8 in Atlanta. Despite the fact that was their first major international event, they have proven to be a force to be reckoned with. And obviously the changes to the team. The one change bringing in Seriously over, was it Leader?
Yeah.
Played in Atlanta.
Yeah, I mean, but that was the question, right? Without leaders, the IGL, how is this team of Geekay going to adapt throughout? And so far, it has been pretty promising. But a minute ago, though, things will stop. But it's this time Geekay found an opening kill, shutting down Dark Zero's initial entry and stopping that bomb site attack.
There's another shotgun pointed right at the window. If Canadian doesn't know what's about to hit him, he's gonna go down for the count! The Nitro goes out, but instead, it's Trickst to break the curse and get his first kill. Securing Nafe as Canadian will continue to bleed out. Dark Zero tripped up on that window. Now it's NJR who's found his way into the bomb site. Goodbye, Trickst. Playing behind bar, NJR still in this position. Diffuser will need to be retrieved. That's the greater problem. But instead, Geekay are playing full court press. Bolo and NJR last alive. Bolo goes down to Noodle. And now it's NJR to clean up inside the site. He's got 2 kills. There's 3 more to be found. He himself will need to ace. Only 10 seconds left. No diffuser. Means no objective. NJR is in a very tough spot. They know exactly where he is. And it's Seriously to clean things up. 3 rounds in a row for Geekay. They take the lead.
Very puzzling round. I mean, Canadian twice gets caught with a Candela in his hand, not ready for a gunfight. First gets injured, second time around he dies. But not just that, but 4 members of Dark Zero are outside the bar gaming window, essentially. Just gonna all in, Lion, Yin Candela, jump in, go for a plant. That's like, you can say it's a rush direct strat, but it seems more like desperation, where they couldn't problem solve around the round, they didn't have the answers. So then for the quote-unquote easiest solution, which is rarely the best solution, and this time around, Geekay, they're near the site, they're ready for it. Noodle often is roaming way off on other side of the map. He was actually near the bomb site itself, ready for that confrontation, and DC, they didn't have any pressure elsewhere. If you have nobody killing default cameras, in Solarium, West Main, etc. as an attacker, as a defending team, hey, nobody's on the west-hand side, they must be on the east-hand side. Something's wrong here. When no one's making noise around the map, you can pretty much assume as a defender, hey, they're gonna hit the bomb site straight on from, the mud window or the actual bomb site window. That's probably gonna be it. That's exactly what happened. Yeah, NGR got into the bomb site, but Diffuser wasn't. Nobody was there to help him. That's the worst spot you can be in. You have half bomb site control, but you can't do anything with it. And with that, Darkseer now playing from behind, 2-3. If they win this upcoming attacking round, it'll be a tied half. But it's not looking too good here the longer this game goes on for.
No, certainly not. DZ had all the confidence in the world through those first 2 rounds. They looked as good as I think you could possibly say. But it's also worth noting that they've got, 6 kills in those first 2 rounds. He was single-handedly the reason for round number 2 going in the favor of Dark Zero.
10 seconds remaining.
But man,
5 seconds left.
this Geekay team cannot at all
Shields ready.
be written off.
Objective is to defuse a bomb.
I don't know if you saw the content piece beforehand, but the players in the groups were talking about who they think they fear the most, and it was Geekay.
Interesting. I did not see that, actually. But I mean,
It's because you weren't paying attention.
you build a reputation, right? You come out.
It's because you weren't paying attention.
I was actually here ready first. But if you do what you do in the previous match of Atlanta, get top 8, you know, you're a scary-looking team. Nowadays, teams will respect you. I think it's back in the day. You had like a one good tournament. People are like, it was a fluke. You know, it's a one-man wanted team, whatever. But nowadays, because W7M started in a similar fashion, you have one good event. Teams respect you because okay, these guys could be the real deal. If you come from MENA with very little experience, you make top 8 in the major, you make the next major. There is something about you.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Well, DZ having to bust a timeout in the first 5 rounds of their map is not, I think, what we had on our bingo sheet. But by the way, if you are following along, there is an official bingo sheet from Fresh.
The unofficial, official bingo sheet.
We've already had one of the categories checked off, so if you're playing at home, congratulations.
Which one was that?
It was the reverse sweep.
Oh, of course.
Another Tubaro, but so far, again, this operator, the newest operator after the game, have really not seen a ton about this operator. We are what many people have called the second coming of the 20-second meta because Tubaro really slows things down. Not in this match, though. I wouldn't say it's a slog by any stretch of the imagination. Key is the first casualty, by the way. Pambazoo breaching in with that buck. Control of the backside of Chalet over towards Trophy, but not the upstairs component. Canadian will now engage as Seriously is under fire in this spot. Moving now over towards the bathroom. He'll survive for the time being.
And much quicker as well. He got a full minute to work with. Basically got Solarium control, got the downstairs control. He can join the bomb side, Pembersu with the bucket, do vertical destruction, or of course, walk up the Solarium staircase. The question now is for Dark Zero, how will they get in towards the bomb side? They misshown the player, I think, in the master bedroom corner. I don't think they have the intel. Nope. He crosses in a safe position again. No one's on that big window repel. Dark Zero missing a crucial position here to cut the bomb side in half.
They do flash Hashom, and NJR takes that spot that you had talked about. Is he aware of Hashom? Pambazoo is. Down goes the best player so far for GK Noodle on the board. It's him and Trix. Try and stave off defeat in this round. Now it's just down to Noodle, who, for yet another round, is playing off-site.
Attackers activating diffuser.
In the post-plant, GK will go. Well, GK. Just Noodle here. They pulled it off last time. Noodle will need 3 more kills as his Nitro Cell is good enough to remove Pambazoo from action. There you go. The Zoto canister thrown out. On the floor. Now it's Noodle to head over towards Solarium. Another canister to go, and well, at that point you're down below. There's just only 2 ways up, really. You're going to go through main lobby at that point, or you're going to go through Trophy. You opted to go through Trophy. There was kill holes there. DZ just sat and waited. Far better post plan for Dark Zero than what we witnessed when they went and attacked downstairs just a couple rounds before that.
Yeah, again, like BMs will go faster and change that pace, and of course, I want to see more of the Subaru, but we just don't get to see it, unfortunately.
Is he being brought right now by DZ on there?
Oh, we got a call in.
Yep.
Oh.
The team manager of GK. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Hello.
Awesome. I have a question for you.
Yeah.
What was your game plan going to, against Dark Zero right now? Was it about being aggressive or about being passive? Like, talk me through it.
Actually, now we will play aggro. Okay. The guys, they are even that Dark Zero, they pushing us like so hard. I hope the player they will do a great job in next phase, like they will do. And I hope it's everything will go with us perfect in attack side.
Okay, so the first 2 rounds you guys played, like, you were moving a lot, you got shot in the back from Dark Zero holding angles. Then in round number 3, things changed. Did you guys talk about possibly changing that up before the game, or did that happen just as the guys were playing?
Actually, they will like the player they will hello.
Hello? Okay, sorry.
Yeah. The player they will do their job, sure, and also they know what he will do right after tactical time. So timeout, sorry. So I hope the player they will do a great job. Even that Hashim is he get 2 clutches in 2 rounds. So.
Okay.
I hope everything will be good with us.
No, that's perfect. Let's see if they do it again. Thank you so much for your time, and good luck to your team of GK.
You too. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Take care.
Okay.
Perfect timing! Very first kill comes out. Sens on the board for the first time in this matchup. Seriously, with the leadoff kill, Canadian roaming on that Solus. Now, have to imagine that part of the reason why they brought Nafe in the first place was to allow Canadian to be cemented in that non-traditional support flex and roam role that he likes to play and has played on DZ. Obviously, this round doesn't work out. Keep an eye on it, though, to see if there's any changes to the roles with Bolo and Nafe on this squad.
No, exactly that. I mean, Geekay doing a great job of kind of like understanding what are the pressure points that we need to worry about. The Solus downstairs, for example, in that late round is a phenomenal thing to deal with early on. It buys them time, basically, so that when they get to the side, if they can get there, they don't have to worry about that any longer. And now, 1 minute 30 seconds left, opening up the bomb side wall. Noodles there with Key to support it, locking down those angles, and they got the glass. When this wall gets opened, only one thing can stop them. That's Bolo on the Warden. He's got a shotgun, doesn't have the MPX, so a weakened DC setup here.
So nice to see a Glaz get brought. I am a big Glaz fan. I think he's quite strong, especially in ranked, but obviously in a more coordinated level, you can bring different tools. You don't necessarily need a Glaz. But you got smokes, you can see through it. That's what you got the Warden to do on defense, is to answer back. Key is dead, there goes the Thermite. Your singular hard breachers. Bolo goes massive. Panbazoo credited with the kills, though, before he's removed and NJR is down for the count. So don't let the number at the top deceive you. It is, in fact, a 2v2. The two newest members of Dark Zero, but hold on a second. NJR has been brought back from the dead. So now DZ maintain that advantage. I wonder if GK heard the shotgun pump. Sure seems like they did. Noodle outside, disoriented, nearsighted by the Fenrir of NJR. Only 30 seconds left. A scramble and a small change. The diffuser had been walked into the bomb site and surrendered. So now GK will need to retrieve it. They do just that. B bomb site plant not on the menu, so instead let's run to A. That's what Noodle will go. Oh, it's him alone.
10 seconds
Time and
left.
time again, Noodle finds himself as the last one standing. Will he be able to
5
pull
seconds
off
to go.
the plant
Attackers
successfully?
activating.
Yes. Now it's a post plant. By firing away, he's given his position away. This collapsed upon by NJR. Dark Zero, 2 rounds in a row, and they win their very first defense.
3K, Warden shot A. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, when I saw Bolo in the Warden, I was thinking, this is great. Then I saw the shotgun, I was like, yeah, you know what, against the glass, trying to plant a bomb site with that smoke coverage, the shotgun is really not what you want there. But the thing is, I think there was a small miscalculation from the side of GK, where they planted in a spot that was seeable by Bolo up above, and he found not just 1 kill, not just 2 and the glass, but the 3rd as well. So a huge positional play there from Bolo, but he had support. Nate von Castle in Master Bedroom had a long line of sight supporting him if he were to fall in a gunfight, but he just simply didn't need it. We'll have a quick tech pause, but of course we'll stay right with you here. We can talk about what happened in the previous round. See it here. Bad plant spot, essentially. 2 deep into the bomb site. Glass upstairs on a show, gets shut down immediately. So the entire strat here from GK falls apart. The whole win condition is glass with the sense and the smoke grenades. The plant, bang. You play far out the building, easy peasy. The moment the glass dies, it's not a good look for GK. The second the planter dies, well, things just start to fall apart and snowball out of control. But strategically, a very sound attack. Just a very small thing was missed, and that was Warden up above. Sure, they could have would have droned it, but they didn't.
We have a tech pause right now, and we're not exactly sure what it is, but the culprits seem to be Dark Zero.
I think it was Troy's in-ears of sound. Admin came over and like pointed at his ears.
Yeah,
He's like, yeah, my ears.
ears. Yeah, I saw that as well. The good thing for Dark Zero is they're maintaining good spirits. Now, just from an outside perspective, go back and rewatch DZ during Atlanta. Both Gavin and Rice did not seem to be talking that much. And if you knew either of them in person and spoke to them in person, they both seemed like quieter people. Now, obviously, that can change in the server versus outside of the server. Some people come alive when you're in-game. Some people can level up. Hey, look at all those Ren Shiro clips of the man screaming and pounding the table. But outside of the game, he doesn't really say much.
No.
In this instance, both Nafe and Bolo are extremely talkative. Nafe has been talkative on all of his teams. Bolo's been talkative on all of his teams. So I have to imagine part of why you bring these 2 players in for DZ is not just because of their prowess in the server. It's their mental and their personality outside of the server, because it can't always be one person, in this case Canadian, doing all the calling. It can't always be one person telling them, hey, center yourself, get your head in the game. But if you got somebody like Nafe, and you got somebody like Bolo's always good vibes, let's be honest, it's going to go a long way to ensure that when things start to go bad, as they did during that first half, you can keep your head and maintain that level of composure so that you don't throw the game both in the server and
yeah, that's the thing, like, you can build rookies, sure, but what about the veterans? DC for a long time, they were like, oh, we're gonna pick up young gunners, inexperienced players, try to teach them how to play the game, so to speak. But Nathan Bolo, they got experience. I mean, Bolo won the Six Invitationals with TSM before they disappeared. So that alone has so much value in a different form than someone like Pambasu who didn't know much about the competitive side of Rainbow Six Siege.
Yeah, I mean, Dark Zero was looking at bringing in all these rookies over time. Rice was relatively inexperienced. NJR was relatively inexperienced. Pambazu was, you know, for a lot of people brought out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But people know who Nave and Bolo are. So you bring in experience. Does it change the dynamic of the team? Well, Geekay is presumably a top 8 team in the world, as Dark Zero is if we just go based off of Atlanta.
Yeah.
And right now, Dark Zero are, at worst, competing on the same level with them.
Now it's a good look, and this time it's DC staying alive in the early round. It's key off the board, and that's, you know, it's the Thermite, but there's a backup here. Tricks on Hibana. Yeah, he doesn't have the, you know, nicest scoreline right now, being 1-7, but that's not his worry right now. Get those walls opened up, figure out where the pressure point is going to be, because you can't spread yourselves too thin here in Shelly. That's never, that's rarely rather, a good look. So it looks to be a backside take, but they need to worry about the roamers first. They go top floor, break the soft floor, try and get that dining, kitchen control, etc. Work their way down, but time is kind of slipping. 1 minute 20. They've only cleared the very top layer of the entire building. The bomb side, well, it has reinforcements, Goyo canisters, those fenders, the Maestro Evil Eyes, etc. So many different tools to slow you down on the bomb side once you get there, and they still are dealing with the roam as well. Canadian up and alive, waiting for this gunfight. Left and right, 2 angles, but again, there's backup. Nave, again, the supportive cast, always helping the roamers.
Slow 2 rounds so far from GK. And, I mean, when you lose the Thermite early on, not all hope is lost because you got that Hibana. It was the Thermite that they lost first in the previous round as well, but I think at that point, the Thermite wasn't ultimately the big deal. This Maestro KM set up earlier on will claim all the X-Kairos that were put on that wine wall, making it even more challenging for GK to get into this site. They're stacked up over the back of wine. They'll rush on in. There they go. Tricks taken down. Now it's Noodle next in, looking for a plant tucked away. Seriously is down, so again, it's Noodle last alive. Nave is the only casualty, but Canadian and Nave are there to get the final 2 kills. Technically, Nave at the down on the Seriously, so it wasn't all him. Canadian gets the very final pick. And now, momentum very firmly in the hands of Dark Zero.
Yeah, also, like, it's been a defender-sided invitational so far. Yeah, it's the second matchup of the day, but the first series, in both matches at least, very defender-sided, like 74%, I believe. So, not surprising to see, you know, DC coming out strong here in the side swap, but also, what a phenomenal amount of depth in that previous round. The roam game top floor into first floor. They have also always had bar control from Dark Zero. They had the Evil Eyes on the bomb side, the Goyo canisters, like mentioned before, and the second that Geekay, they hit the side itself, they retook dining. So they're on the hatch, they're on the side, Maestro cams are sapping you, and the Hibana pellets as well. And that's something that we haven't spoken a lot of so far. Maestro actually got buffed not all that long ago. Instead of 2 Evil Eyes, those Maestro cameras, he's got 3 of them. And he's still got that LMG, tons of bullets, so I'm not surprised if we see a little bit of Maestro play here and there, but it does take what we call a genius to play it. But NGR, he is a bit of a genius. He's a quote-unquote support player, you know, he plans sometimes and does stuff, but he actually frags out relatively often. Right now, 11 kills to his name. He got the utility tonight with the Evil Eyes, stabbing those X-Carrots away, held the bomb site down as well. There's so much value here in a single player for Dark Zero. NGR is that person right now, and often is. Yeah, 11-3. The vibes are high for Dark Zero, even the rounds they lost. And this is the thing about bringing in new players as well, that honeymoon phase that you go through, where you're building something new together and everyone's on their best behavior because, new people, you know, let's be nice. It's like when your parents, they have guests over, you know? You bring out your best behavior.
So, up in the top left, a quick stat for you. Through the first 4 maps of SI, defense has a 76% win rate.
Disgusting.
So the fact that DZ was able to go 3 for 3 in the first half should bode well for them. Of course, Chalet is historically more friendly to the attackers. The numbers go back and forth as to whether or not it's a defender side of the map. We did have that period of time where, if you'll recall, the defenders were pretty much better on almost every single map.
And of course, Tuberu and Chalet, I wouldn't say, based off my best guess, that it would be a very impactful operator per se, and I'm not surprised that we don't see all that much of it. That GK brought out twice, the gadget didn't really impact the rounds at all. Dark Zero yet to do it. They're staying with their old, like, what they know, so to speak, and it's working for them. Why change it? But I will say, Canadian, no surprise here, has been playing an even bigger flex role than usual because Nave joining opens that up. He played the Ying, he's playing the Kaid, he's playing the Solis, but he is usually actively on map looking for something like Canadian loves to do. And GK, they're struggling at finding a good entryway right down the map. They're out to the building, opening windows, shooting those default cameras, and droning and droning and droning, but they're not really getting anywhere right now. And perhaps that's okay. When you got Brava and a Twitch, you can just kind of hack those gadgets, default cameras, deny intel, etc. Then later in the round, you've done the prep work, but the issue is you need to get a foothold somewhere and an initial starting point for your attack.
Timeout was taken by GK. Will they find some success off of it? So far, the answer is yes. Bolo with the bailiff out. A bit of a questionable choice, and Nafe goes down as well. That's second frag on Dark Zero, so not exactly ideal. Good news, though. Both Nafe and Bolo's gadgets will persist, though keep in mind that with Fenrir's gadgets, you can juggle them with the phone. So whatever is activated will remain activated. You can't really change much beyond that. The Lion have seriously finally finished off, and now it's GK with a numbers advantage and a 4v3.
It's important that Canadian is like sole person on the side. He really has to hold on to his position. If he falls, that means the plant is very much present. They got the read there on the blue staircase. Fire goes out. Now Canadian isolated on site with Pamusu in dining hallway.
Bomb diffuser has been
Staring
dropped.
down the smoke. No warden present for Dark Zero. I don't really see much that will aid them through that smoke as the drones still continue to go out for GK. Dotting their I's, crossing their T's. Noodle walking up, excuse me. Neither NJR nor Canadian have their headsets on whatsoever because Noodle's able to assert himself on those garage stairs.
Attackers recovered the bomb.
2 kills.
Oh,
Pambazu next in line to a show, and we've got a tie game, or we've got one step closer to a tie game as it's 4 rounds for GK. All 12 rounds feeling very likely at this point.
I'm still curious what happened with Bolo there. Swinging in mud door with the bailiff secondary shotgun in hand. Not sure if that was like he was out of bullets or was like desperate for the trade, or maybe got the call, oh, this guy's reloading, like just go for it, no bullets left, whatever. But losing 2 members instead of just a single member, it really weakened the bomb site structure.
I have to imagine it's because if you know somebody's just vaulted into mudroom, they're not expecting anybody to swing them right away, right? You're not expecting an immediate challenge. And in Bolo's defense, at that range, the bailiff is usually good enough to kill you after 2 shots.
Usually. Yeah.
The bailiff is also a relatively fast-firing weapon.
That's
so
fair.
you can get those 2 shots off pretty quick. That was just Noodle finding a blind spot and taking advantage of it. Got to give him credit for that.
Yeah, I mean, that's you know, blind spot for sure. One of those 2 members of Canadian NJR could have held that angle, but it wasn't communicated. The thought basement was clear, etc. It just wasn't. Those late round flanks really working out. And that's again, when you play the Bravo and you play the Twitch as in the previous round for GK, you deny so much intel from your opponent and you gain so much yourself. Odds are, without those 2 operators, that play might not have worked out because something would have been in their way on their path that would have stopped them from achieving that flank. Now things will change again. Now we see the glass, we see the OSA, things constantly shifting here for GK, keeping Dark Zero in the dark as to where, well, where they're gonna go from, what's gonna happen, and what operators do they need. One thing is evident, Solis always great against GK so far in this matchup, as is the Warden. They love using smokes to deny land of sight, stop the crossfires from being effective from Dark Zero, and of course, you can plant more effectively if you have smokes, especially with a glass on the board. But the only downside of this lineup here for GK, they need like all 4 or 5 members alive. If anybody dies, it's a huge loss, either utility-wise or their primary gadget. So who's gonna do the entry duty? Who's gonna take the reins here and get stuff done? That's my big question. And they don't even have like a hard breacher nearby right now. Like Ace, Key has to rotate over, get that wall opened up, and then they can start working on office. But Bolo's there again, waiting on that office half wall for his fight to come.
Put the shield down.
Would you believe it that half the round is gone already now?
This has been fast.
It's been very quick.
And the issue last time has been fixed. They know where Bolo is, they got an active drone on him, and of course they lost to him last time in that position, so they know what to do this time.
Oh, the impact misses onto the Osa shield. Noodle gunning down Pambazoo, 3 players from GK at least stacked up over in that library hallway looking towards double door. Amidst the smoke, there's only one warden and he's good as gone. GK sinking their fangs into Dark Zero this round. Now, Trix falls, and Dark Zero have to start getting some kills on the board.
Attackers have dropped the
Got
bomb
1 minute
diffuser.
to go.
Attackers
Noodle
have
is
recovered
heavily damaged. There's still plenty of utility here from GK. There's not a lot at this point that gives me hope for Dark Zero, outside of the fact that NJR and Nafe are the 2 best gunners at this moment from DZ. Other than that, GK has everything going for them.
Man, it's over, dude. Hashom is just, oh my god, 3 kills in the round on the glass. Someone stop this, man. Boop, boop. Boop.
Just popping up over the Osa shield. Small errors committed by Dark Zero snowball out of control. That first impact onto the Osa shield. Oh, nice shot by Hashom there. It was earlier on in the round that really could have helped slow down that take that was coming in from GK on Library Hall. But when the impact misses, and then you have somebody immediately follow up, presumably on intel that the shield is gone, and there's 3 players there, you're not expecting a warm welcome by GK like that. And
No.
DZ got humbled in that round when they tried to be aggressive in response to the fact that after a minute and a half, GK assessed, hey, we can take some map control quite quickly. Let's do this. First half of the round flew by, and then GK lined him up, as cliche as it sounds. knocked him
Attackers
down.
have located
Now
the
we
bomb.
have a tie game, and all 12 rounds will be needed. Both teams have used their timeouts, so it's just going to be a slugfest from here on out.
Yeah, and the big thing to note here is that the devil really is in the details. If that impact lands on the Osa shield,
5 seconds to go.
yeah, DC might not get a kill from it, but they will remove one of the 2 big obstacles that denies them that top floor control. It is so difficult to combat an Osa shield from far away because, you know, you can see each other, sure, but it's almost like, you know, a double-sided Blackbeard shield, where, yeah, if Osa doesn't, you know, take a peek, she can die, but at the same time, they have all the intel. They know exactly when to go for that swing. They have a better gun usually with that long-range scope. So GK, they've done a great job at utilizing different operators for what they want to accomplish right now. This is arguably the weakest lineup that we've seen from them so far in terms of like utility. Yeah, they got soft breach, they got the ram on seriously. They can break the floor apart in a lobby in about 5 seconds if they want to. But for the bomb set itself, there's only smoke grenades and Bravo from Hashom. This time, no glass. There's no, you know, frag grenades this time because like that's not a thing anymore, right? That got nerfed to the ground. So they don't have a lot of ways in besides going for gun kills. And that has really been their biggest strength so far in this matchup.
I think that's one thing that hasn't really been mentioned that much, and I didn't really hear it on the other broadcast, though I'm sure it was probably brought up at some point. And it's that with the changes to the nades not being able to be cooked, they have essentially fallen off the earth. It's as if grenades don't even exist.
Basically, yeah.
Additionally, DZ are running with all reliable. Despite the fact that GK went 3, maybe 4 rounds with Tubaro, Dark Zero hasn't used him once.
No, they haven't. And to be honest, the way they're playing, I don't blame him. I would like to see more utility like Maestro again, but this time seriously finds the opening kill onto Pambasu, who's had a bit of a silent game, I would say, quiet for him at least. 6 and 9, no big stand-up moments I can recall, and just really not finding his stride in those gunfights, usually falling pretty early on.
This is where everything gets real quiet and real tense. And North American fans in particular are hoping that it won't be a repeat of previous events where the team's early struggles do not allow them to catch up, and NA as a region just tunes out. Yeah, obviously the previous matchup that we saw on the other stream with SSG, NA fans not particularly happy about that one. Dark Zero on their own map getting pushed to the brink by GK, and you mentioned the RAM, and this is exactly why.
So quick, so efficient, and this thing, you get so much line of sight onto the bomb side.
Before Ram was an operator, Fuse was actually used a couple times to do this. You'd throw a cluster charge upstairs on that balcony, it would go down and blow up the entire floor and completely clear out whatever shelter you had for the defenders in the bomb sites.
That's a good point, but now the way in forward for GK, or walk down the staircase, they don't have a lot of presence here, and they lose a player as well to Canadian. It's a 4v4 now with 25 seconds left. They gotta go.
Now Hashom will throw out the smokes. He'll get challenged and immediately pre-fires it. Through the smoke, no real information. Now it's Bolo on the flank to cut down Hashom. He's not alone. He's got Canadian with him, and there you go. The raid boss of Geekay removed from action, but now a flank as well from Geekay. Everybody's rushing in. Time running out. Noodle getting the plant down, but has to bail off of it. Time about to run out. Bolo and Naif, the final 2 kills. And it's map point for Dark Zero.
The blue staircase became a blender. 4 people, they fall back to back to back to back. And it looks so funny because, well, GK, they push down the staircase. What do you know? Right behind them, 2 Dark Zero members. They get that initial kill. GK, they try and flank it back in their control. They get shut down. Then Dark Zero, they say, you know what? We got blue control. I'm going to go back up to lobby. Then he dies on the blue stairs too. 4 members. Just like that. The entire round defined in that small area off the bomb side. And this was the issue that I spoke of earlier. Yeah, you got vertical destruction, you got 1 set of smoke grenades on the Brava, but they don't have any real way to break apart the bomb site or establish a plant or bomb site control. No Osa, no Monty, no Glass, and the smoke grenades, they were on blue staircase. They couldn't go in from the primary breach, they didn't fully lock down the flank in the room clear, so they got flanked late round. So GK, they have this big painting that they want to approach and say, you know what, make a sky, make an ocean, make some trees, but they're missing some of those small details. The tree has no leaves, right? Nothing's growing on that tree. So I like what they're trying to accomplish, but there are a couple of small gaps, and perhaps, you know, with Leader not being here this time to help them, maybe that was his job. Maybe he was the guy that was like, you know what, nitty-gritty details, make sure we have this covered, guys. Otherwise, great plan.
I know there's going to be a lot of eyes on Bolo because he is one of the biggest figures in all of Rainbow Six, not just as a player, but also as a content creator. I mean, for those that are maybe a bit old, they don't remember what it was like when Bolo was underage. All the, do you think Bolo will go pro, etc. I mean, the man popularized quick leaning, for God's sake, which completely revolutionized the game for a period of time before, of course, the game then got changed, so it was slower. And as much as the spotlight will be on Bolo, I really want to give the spotlight to Naif. This is a player who I think, unless you are a very big EU fan, he flew under your radar. Because he never really played on an amazing world-beating team, despite him being so good on all the teams he played. He's always been an instrumental figure in those teams succeeding, and now he brings his talent to DZ, and I think what we can argue is the largest spotlight of his own career. It's nice to see him immediately acclimate to Dark Zero and not have any major stumbles so far.
I mean, the biggest thing is when you're a player is that if you have like a good start to a tournament, no matter if you're a new player or an old player on a team, just get like your first kill at the Six Invitational. If that can come in the very first round or two, you're gonna be so happy about that because you're not gonna build that doubt in your mind. Oh, come on, like what's wrong? Get going, you know, whatever. You gotta have that confidence. Naif, he's got that in the first 2 rounds, got like 4 or 5 kills, and he's held his own so far, 10 and 8. GK with more utility, got the Nomad, they got the Capital, things are going out. There's a fake smoke, try and bait a reaction from DC, it works out, they get that opening kill, and Key has found a gap, a weakness in the defensive lineup right now. He's inside lobby, and because Twitch on the board, we know that they Twitch tapped that camp early in the round. DC, they have no active intel on that position. And if Key can find the right spot, the right moment, he can definitely get 1 or 2 more kills and create chaos on the side of DC. Right here, the timing. They got the read, but Canadian falls off.
Well, I don't know if Key meant to drop, but he's fallen through towards Connector, and Canadian now has 2 separate players from GK in his sights. Doesn't matter, Key wins the duel. Meanwhile, Hisham falls to Naif. Naif with very limited HP. Looks like he'll retake from above, but he looks away. There's somebody upstairs, top library stairs, that he needs to be very keenly aware of. Now Key's dropped. It's a 3v3 now. All hell will break loose, and suddenly Dark Zero is punishing GK. Tricked with a single kill so far through this map, will end it with 1. It was scary through the midway portion of this map, but DZ sticks the landing and ultimately wins 7-5 on their map.
They retake so many rounds, they give up something, they take it back with 2 or 3 members, and it's a new look for DC.